Good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is Tom.
Mike.
I am.
In the PM.
Right here at HUDRadio.com. We are live from the BMW Atlantic City studios. We're in Mount Ephraim, the BMW Atlantic City, located right off exit 37 of the Parkway. You can find them online, BMWAtlanticCity.com. Like every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by none other than Gibson Mayer. Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. You can give them a call, 215-369-3300, 215-369-3300. Find them on the web, gibsonmayer.com. A lot to talk about tonight. We're going to get into the Eagles training camp. Nigel Bradham's arrested in Florida over a freaking
bottle of wine.
No, I heard it was over an umbrella.
Well,
Did it change to a bottle of wine and an umbrella? That's interesting. We'll talk about it.
I'll give you the down low on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's going to be a distraction for this young Eagles team. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about everything Eagles at the end of the show. And I think the Eagles' reluctancy, I think Chip Kelly ruined Jeffrey Lurie. And we're going to talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. I think he might have ruined Jeffrey a little bit because things are different here. You know, the whole gold standard that Mr. Lurie set out and saying we were here for the Philadelphia Eagles has gone away. It's lost its luster. And the reluctancy from the Philadelphia Eagles to talk about really anything is mind-boggling.
So what is it now, like the sterling silver standard?
Bro, you can get $1 for sterling. You can get $1 for some sterling silver. I'm talking kind of shit that you get, it's like a can, like trading in cans. You ain't going to get shit for cans. That's what it's like right now. So we're going to talk about Eagles later in the show, but we're going to start off with a lot of Phillies. Trade deadline coming up, approaching real fast, Michael, coming up real soon. And we want to know which current member of the Phillies would fetch the best return in the trade. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. Jeremy Hellickson, Peter Borges, Gomez, Velasquez. You got somebody else? Let us know.
I guess we'd take Peter Borges out of that equation now that he ran his shoulder into a wall
you
last
put
night.
You put it out right before he ran into the wall. So
literally.
But listen, the poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. And it's which current member of the Phillies would fetch you the best return in the trade. Hellickson, Borges, Gomez, Velasquez. Again, let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, A2D Radio. Mike, start with you because it's me and you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Tom and Michael Matarak, if you didn't know. Now you know. Rob Povey
on the ones and twos.
Ones and twos, and some other guys sitting here that's no name. We got no name guy.
Names.
We got no name guy sitting in the studio as well.
The guy behind the guy.
I think it's guy behind like 20 guys. And that's not a pun for anything. You know what I mean? We're not taking shots at the guys lined up behind 20 guys. We're just saying he likes to be behind guys. He doesn't like to be the face of the organization. He likes to be behind the scenes. You know what I mean? He's not Roseman.
He's not the face that runs the place, but he is the man with the plan.
He's got a plan or two.
A little bit.
He's got some plans. He's got some plans.
I like that alliteration, Michael.
Robbie, can you bump my headphone volume up just a tick? Beautiful.
Can you fetch that like the Phillies? So what are the Phillies fetching?
Thank you, my friend.
What's the best fetch? Fetch the best. The best return.
So here's my thing. I was pretty much.
Fetch is a funny word.
I mean,
it's old school. I'm sorry.
It is old school.
When I know it's your poll when I say it before I even read it because
when it's in proper English.
Yeah, like you'll let people know out there that maybe not a degree in English. You just toss it around.
Look, I'm an educated man.
I know. I like it. So who is it? Who's the guy? Start with one and we'll work our way down.
It's like I almost get offended when I have to send my written material for the website to Rob. Not that Rob is not an intelligent man, but I send it to Rob and I'm like, didn't I go to school for this? Like, why can't I edit my own stuff? But then Robbie always tunes it up nice and I'm a happy camper.
Everybody's happy. So
I could use a second.
What would make the Phillies happy?
I could use some money in my pocket, too. Just saying. All right, so, Tommy, we talked about this a little bit last week, and we'll get into it a lot deeper now because we're getting right up on the trade deadline. Jeremy Hellickson has basically auditioned for the Marlins twice in the last 9 days and has been almost untouchable. And you had to think, going into the deadline, the three most marketable guys they had were Hellickson, Jeanmar Gomez, and Peter Borges. You talked last week about Borges being, somebody's fourth outfielder, late inning defensive replacement, right-handed bat off the bench, one of these guys that's going to make a playoff team better. Gomez, we talked about closers being a dime a dozen, but when you're getting late in the season and you need a setup man to get to that closer, what better way to get a setup man than to trade for somebody else's former closer? Hellickson, though, was the guy. I mean, there were 6 teams that were scouting him. He was mentioned heavily in the rumors with the Marlins, with Boston, with the Dodgers, the Giants, and there were one or two other teams.
Pirates.
Pirates. There were one or two other teams that were looking at him as well.
You said the Orioles?
I did not.
The
I was
Orioles and
actually
Pirates
not
were-
aware of the Orioles.
Orioles and Pirates were two other teams jumping in.
But all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, I mean, literally out of nowhere, you get these, not even whispers. It was like being hit over the head with a bat that the Texas Rangers suddenly were interested in Vince Velasquez.
Well, that's an easy one. But starting with Hellickson, Phillies are reported to say they want one of the team's top 5 prospects in return for Jeremy Hellickson, or they're fine with taking the draft pick instead if he walks next year. So they're saying that we want a top 5 prospect, or we're not going to trade you Hellickson, and we'll hold on to him. And if he walks next year, we'll take the pick.
Well, if he walks, the compensatory draft pick that they pick up is going to be at the end of the first round.
Yeah,
so it basically equates to somebody else's number 3, number 4, number 5 prospect.
Very similar. That's what I want that in return.
So they're not asking for anything completely off the wall. I think, to Matt Klentak's credit, he's being aggressive. He's putting it out there, and he's basically saying, look, we don't need to trade this guy. We're perfectly happy with him. If you want him, you got to pony up.
Exactly, and we'll see if anybody does. But when you talk about the Rangers jumping in late on Velasquez, that's fine because I want Mazzara then. That's who we wanted last year in the Hamels deal to begin with. That was our main guy. When we talked about that Hamels deal last year, same time, just happened. Right?
Literally a year ago today.
It just happened. And we talked about the one guy that we thought was a make or break in this deal, and we thought of Mazzaro. Now, when the deal went down, I think we were all happy in our return and excited on what we got. But I still think that me and you personally thought that, maybe we left one out there because that's the guy we wanted. Well, now, if the Rangers are interested, listen, my opinion on Vincent Velasquez. He's got real good stuff. He's a 5-6 inning guy right now. As he gets older, maybe he can learn to pitch deeper in the games. But if right now, that's not who he is. And you can get all excited about the strikeouts. End of the day, he's a back rotation guy. He's got great closer stuff that you see one time around, right? When you see him second, third time around, he works long counts, and that's why he can't finish ball games. If you're telling me that the Rangers are interested with who they have, you can give me Profar then, too.
Well, here's
if you don't want Mazzaro, then let's Profar.
No, I do want
and go
Mazzaro.
that route.
And here's where I'm going. If the Rangers want to talk, they're talking to the White Sox about Chris Sale.
Yeah.
And the asking price on Chris Sale is Nomar Mazzara.
Scissors.
There's that. But there's Nomar Mazzara, Jurickson Profar,
Yeah.
Joey Gallo, who you and I have both already said we want no parts
We
of him.
both don't like him. That's been put out there.
And 2 top 15.
If you don't know, now
right,
you know.
And 2 top 15 prospects, one of whom has to be a pitcher. For me,
For Velasquez?
no, for Chris Sale.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, if you want Velasquez, you just give me Mazzara and Profar, and we'll just shake hands right now. I'd be perfectly happy.
Well, you think you think that's reasonable though?
Right, but go with the analogy that you talked about before when we were talking about this off air. When you said if we basically have traded Hamels, Diekman, and Giles and get
all that in return,
you get Nick Williams,
Thompson,
Jorge Alfaro, Jake Thompson, Jared Eichhoff, Alec Asher, Nomar Mazzara, and Jurickson Profar.
You won. You
won.
You just emptied their farm system.
Yeah, you basically bent
and a
them
good
over.
farm system too.
Yeah,
known to be.
You took a good farm system and you bent them over.
And we're fans of that.
Absolutely.
With no question. But no, listen, I'm okay with one of the two. But then again, to your point, then I want a top 20 guy arm then in your organization.
If you don't get both of them.
Yeah, okay, you want to give me Mazzara? Fine. Then give me also a top 20 arm. It could be your 20th guy.
I'll even up the ante a little more.
And I'll walk right away.
If you don't give me Mazzara and you give me Profar,
I want a top 10.
I want a top 10 arm.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Well, this is baseball with me and you. This is like
same page.
You know what I mean? This is like I don't even know a good analogy right now. I'm so exhausted. But
I tell you what, though.
It's like putting the kids to bed with like a warm glass of milk. You know what I mean? It's that easy.
If you need someone to argue with, though, I'm not as down on Joey Gallo as you two guys are. I know he strikes out a ton. I get it.
Okay,
but that's the day and age in baseball that it is. His power's monumental.
You look at it from the fantasy perspective of a 3-run homer and 3 strikeouts in a game is still a 10-point game. I do not want a 3-run homer and 3 strikeouts.
No, believe me, I get it, man.
No, I know you do.
You want contact for average in the real life game, but I don't know.
I don't even necessarily.
I don't think you have room for him. To be honest with you, he's the guy.
Where's he going to play?
Yeah, where's he going to play? You got Joseph right now. You got Knapp, who's projected to be a first baseman as well. So, I mean, and again, you're deep in the outfield. I get it. But then what I do, let's make a deal, because this is what this whole show's about, is let's get creative and make a deal, right? And good GMs get creative. So now if I get Mazzara back, you know what I end up doing? I end up contacting the Chicago White Sox, and I go get freaking cute. And I now get rid of some of the depth I have in my organization, and I go make a splash for a big-time top rotation arm. And now I'm taking that step forward as an organization, saying, hey, we don't got to wait 2 or 3 years, because now we got arms to do it. We got kids coming up. Listen, a guy like Williams, J.P. Crawford's untradeable. Nick Williams, right? You can take one of my guys out of my rotation right now, right? You can take another guy. If you want Eichhoff or Afflin, you can have one of them. Name it. You want Quinn? We'll give you Roman Quinn too. You got another arm down there? We'll give you another arm too. We'll give you 5 prospects.
Let me pose this to you.
Yeah.
Aaron Nola, Nick Williams, Rhys Hoskins,
Okay.
Nick Pivetta,
Yeah.
and Roman Quinn.
Who we got from Washington, right? We got
Right.
Pivetta from Washington.
Roman
and
Quinn
Papelbon.
for Chris Sale.
Done.
In a heartbeat.
Done.
In
Where
a
do I
heartbeat.
drive the guys to? Because that's how you get creative, though, Mike. Rob, that's how you do it. At the end of the day, you get back. Okay, if you go get another 2 top 10 prospects from the Rangers, now you're deeper in your organization. And Mazzaro, you have so much outfield. You just use the number 1 pick on Mickey, right? Mikey.
Who, by the way, is tearing up the Gulf Coast League, which is unbelievable.
But Randolph did the same thing last year. So that at the end of the day, you don't
We'll see
want
what happens,
You don't
right.
want to get too giddy about it, but it does feel good. No question. But so now you're deep in the effort. You have an all-star center fielder who, in my opinion, is better than any kid you're going to bring up right now in terms of handling a bat. So I can get creative now because now I have Mazzaro. Now I have Mickey coming up, right? I have other outfielders down there. I can go Quinn, Williams, Noah.
I'll tell you what.
Who you want? Gomez? You need a closer? We'll give you Gomez too.
I'll even take this thing out another step.
Go 6 or 7.
I'm keeping Williams.
Okay.
I'm keeping Mazzara.
All
I'll
right.
give you Odubel Herrera.
I don't go that route.
I don't care.
I'll tell you why I can't, Mike.
You can't,
Mike.
If you're going to include him in a deal that gets you back Chris Sale,
Can't.
in a heartbeat.
You can't. I'll tell you why you can't put him in that deal. Because you know what he is. Listen, you make the deal for Chris Sale to win now. You don't make the deal for Chris Sale to win 5 years from now. So you can't. No. You can't. Because, listen, how do you sell your fan base? You go get an all-star starting rotation guy, right? Top rotation guy. You have an all-star center fielder. There's some building blocks, all-stars. You know what Odubel Herrera is, right? You don't know. We don't know as much as we love Mazzara and as much as we love Nick Williams. We don't know how they're going to translate to the big leagues. They could both end up stinking. But with Herrera, you know. So prospects is just, it's a lottery with prospects. So I'm willing to give up prospects all day for him. That's my point.
Hold on, now. I'm going to give you Nomar Mazzara's stats from the major leagues this year.
I know, but you stop it with Odubel. Would you guys all stop it? He stays. He's untradeable to me. He's untradeable. The most important player, as the Fix talked about right before us, the most important player for the Philadelphia Phillies is Odubel Herrera. It's not Maikel Franco. It's Odubel Herrera.
All right, hold on. Listen to this for a second, Tommy. Hold on.
Look at your stats. I'll pull up Herrera's. Let's have
do
fun.
it.
Let's have freaking fun.
Pull up Herrera.
Let's have fun.
While he does that,
Go
I
ahead.
just have a quick question. You smell that?
Smell what?
I smell a man crush brewing. And I know from my days with Johnny LeClaire, so I get it.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had a man crush on Nomar Mazzara since the middle of last year.
I'm saying his man crush with
Odubel.
Odubel.
That's a given.
No question. I'm not hiding behind this at all. Rob, I'm out in the open about it. I came out of the closet with this one. There was no hiding. Odubel Herrera is a flat-out freaking stud in this league, and I wish the jackasses on Agree to Disagree, Mr. Wilson and Mr. Delgado, would hop on with me here. Because not Mr. Delgado's on the same page as me. More of that crumb, Mr. Wilson, who doesn't want to hop on the wagon because anything I like can't be good at him. So, at the end of the day, I'm not going to freaking waiver on a puppy. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. You got his stats?
I'm right here for you.
All right, at bats. What's he got?
He's got 429 right now.
All right, Nomar Mazzara, 344. So he's definitely had a fair share of at bats this year. Batting average.
This is right. Hold on.
Oh, now there we go.
No, I just want to make sure because it looked like his numbers dropped.
Okay, well they have. He's sucked for the last 2 weeks.
He had like 3-hit games in the last week and a half. Okay, he's batting 286 right now.
All right, Nomar Mazzara, 282.
All right, yeah, 11 homers.
Nomar Mazzara, 12 homers.
16 stolen bases.
Nomar Mazzara has no stolen bases. Fair point.
RBI, he's got 36, but that's batting in the lead off.
Mazzara has 40.
Okay, so they're right there. And you talk about runs scored in a bad a bad lineup. He's scored 56.
Mazara's 41.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I love Mazzaro. I'm on the same page with you. I'm keeping Mazzaro with me, Michael. We're not getting rid of Mazzaro. We're going in with Herrera, Mazzaro, and we'll figure out left field. But because we're going to make some moves. We're making a deal tonight. Okay, we're not sitting back. We love scissors. We like when you don't want to wear shit. We're a city built on, some toughness, right? Stand up for something you believe in, and we can sell Chris Sale on the fact that we're going to try to win right now. We're not going to wait. J.P. Crawford's coming up. Alfaro.
If you look at the rotation for the Phillies next year,
okay, yeah.
What are they missing? What's the one thing that's missing?
A horse.
A horse,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, you've got Thompson, who projects to a top of the rotation starter, probably a number 2.
Yeah.
We've basically figured out this year that Nola's a 3. And then you've got Eflin.
We hope he's better than that. We hope it's
we
not
hope
worse.
he is,
we hope
but
it's not freaking worse, Michael.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, he pans out to be a 3.
Okay.
You've got Eflin and Eichhoff as your 4 and 5. You've got Lively waiting in the wings. You've got a couple of other guys down at AA that are working their way up. But the thing that they're missing, next year, the thing they're missing is a horse. And if what you said can work, and I'm on that page with you, if you can actually somehow flip these prospects that you get from the Rangers for Vince Velasquez to the White Sox and pry Chris Sale away, the Phillies become a contender next year immediately. Immediately. And it's not even a question.
No, it's not even close. Because now, like I said, now you're rolling out Crawford, Alfaro. Who knows if Knapp's up, but you have Joseph. You have Herrera then. You would have Mazzaro. So, I mean, you're talking about, building something up here. You saw Franco. So.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You're still young, and there's going to be growing pains.
No question.
But these growing pains hurt a lot less when your starting 5 is only giving up 3.5 runs a game instead of 4.5 to 5 runs a game.
Yeah, you're going in the right direction. Real quick, if you're just joining us, our question for tonight, our poll question, is if I can freaking find it. Here we go. Which current member of the Phillies would fetch you the best in return in a trade? Is it Hellickson, Borges, Gomez, Velasquez? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. ATD Radio is where you can find us. Also, shout out to BMW of Atlantic City. This month, they've challenged their sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save right now. At least a certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience, closer than you think. BMW Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off exit 37 in the Parkway. Online, BMW of AtlanticCity.com. So who do you believe at the end? We talked about both of them, Hellickson and Velasquez, but which one do you really think gets you the best in return?
I think Hellickson probably gets you more in terms of bodies.
Okay.
But I think some of them are going to be lower level prospects. But to make the splash that we're talking about and be able to get higher level prospects that you can then backfill your farm system to take some of your depth and flip, It's going to be Velasquez.
Yeah, I voted for Velasquez. I thought he could get you more or higher level, but now knowing a little bit about what the Phillies asked for Jeremy Hellickson, that they're asking for a top 5 prospect, or they'll just let him walk and they'll take that late first round pick next year if he walks. So knowing that going into it, I think they're pretty even, to be honest with you. I think that they're both going to fetch you pretty similar in return.
Well, here's the one thing that just screws this up, and it's almost counterintuitive. But what if Hellickson wants to come back? Because he's already gone on record as saying he likes the city, he likes the organization, he feels like there's a great bunch of guys, and he likes the young guys coming up. He doesn't want to leave.
Well, we talked about this. Now, he doesn't compare to Hamels, but this guy was a rookie of the year. I mean, this guy people thought was going to be a good pitcher in this league, and he struggled. Arrieta's going through, I'm not comparing the two, but Arrieta's going through this kind of thing and found his way back into being a stud. Guys can find their way back in different organizations. One, if they believe in the pitching coaches and the coaches that are teaching them, and two, want to be here, and figure out and are willing to work on the mistakes or whatever was causing them these struggles. Now, he's figured it out over the past month so far. He's pitched really good baseball. So at the end of the day, if this guy wants to come back, he's 28 years old. He's not 32. You can have him in your rotation moving forward, and it's a good guy to have. Because at the end of the day, if Hellickson's your 3 or your 4, you're in good shape.
See, the thing with Hellickson is he's not going to go out and strike out 10 every night.
No.
But he's going to go out and he's going to go 7 or 8, and he's only going to give up 1 or 2 runs.
Exactly.
I mean, he gets bombed occasionally. Everybody in the major leagues does.
Everybody does.
So, I mean,
but, Mike, if you back end him, though, you make him your third or your fourth starter, you're talking about teams that are looking for him right now are looking for him to be a third or fourth starter. They're playoff contending teams. So if you get to the point with Helkston on your roster, and he's 3 or 4, then who are you?
Right.
You're then a playoff contending team.
You're a contender.
So,
right.
I mean, it all makes sense on how deep you go in your rotation. So, again, I agree with the Phillies. I'm in no rush to get rid of Helkston. Listen, if you want to wave some things at me, Texas, for Velasquez, I'll drive him to the goddamn airport. And I like the guy. Don't get me wrong, but I think we get on our knees too quick in this city. And we crown too quick in this city. I think he's a perfect example. The guy's pitched well. He hasn't overpitched. He hasn't overperformed in any way where he's untouchable. Or he can't go to the bullpen, you jackasses.
I mean, I see him as a guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what he brings to the table, but I got no loyalty. I mean, he's been in the organization for less than a year.
Freaking day.
You know, he is literally the perfect trade chip because he basically came in and put himself in a position where, you know, if somebody in the organization or a group of the fan base has gotten attached to this guy already, that's a problem.
Listen,
that's a big problem because you shouldn't be attached to a guy who has started 16 games for your team. He's already been on the DL, and teams are still banging down your door for him. Get him the hell out of here before he has to have Tommy John.
Or put him wwhere he's supposed to be. This is a guy with 103 strikeouts in 91 innings. He's over a strikeout an inning. We know who he is. I know he's a power guy. I get it. He's got a 3.34 earned run average. It's good. It's a good earned run average. In the NL, that's not great. In the NL, that's solid, right, gentlemen?
It's solid,
It's solid. Okay, get it. He's 8-2, but I don't look at records. I'm looking at your earned run average, your whip. Okay, your whip's 1.29. But again, we know he runs up too many pitch counts.
A lot of walks.
And he's got 34. I mean, 34 too many. And so it shows location issues, right? It shows him not being able to spot his fastball at times. And I just think that if you watch him early on in games, he dominates. He gets by. But as the game goes on, second time, third time through the lineup is where I find him to struggle.
What's his stranded runners rate like? Does he walk a lot and leave them on? You know, like just from what you watching him, seeing him.
It's tough because he's a guy you know very early in a game whether he's got it or not.
Right.
I mean, you know, he went, I want to say it was Sunday in Pittsburgh, and he battled. I mean, you know, he only gave up 4 runs in, I want to say it was 6+, but, I mean, he also walked 4. And you could tell right out of the gate. I mean, the first inning was 22 pitches, and you're like, okay, here we go. You know, my thing, it's a great question, Rob, and it would be something that I'd need to look into a lot further.
Right. Well,
my thing is I look at average number of pitches per inning.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get out of an inning in 15 pitches or less?
Right.
And if you can get out of an inning in 15 pitches or less, then you're doing something.
Well, my ultimate point here is that if he does have, a high strand rate, Tom has always talked about maybe him being your guy's potential closer.
Right.
And
if you can't deal him, yeah.
And this is if you can't deal him, and this is kind of reminiscent of A.J. Ramos on the Marlins, who walks a ton but has a high strand rate and is one of the best closers in the National League.
Well, what we were talking about before is, to me, I see a lot of Curt Schilling in him. This was, Curt Schilling back in the early 90s. He was a guy who was, basically, supposed to be a closer for a couple of different teams. And, the Orioles couldn't figure it out with him. The Astros couldn't figure it out with him. He comes to the Phillies. The Phillies say, well, you know what? We're going to make you a starter. He goes on to have a Hall of Fame career. I'm not saying he's the next coming of Curt Schilling, but I see a lot of similarities in the style, the delivery, the demeanor, just a lot of bulldog in him. And, I mean, I can't disagree with Tom's point at all. He does translate very well to a closer, and in time that could be where they use him if they don't trade him. I just don't know that I do it in season this year. I think if they keep him, they got to ride him out in the rotation to the end of the year.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's fair there, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't see where he fits in the rotation. To me, he's a guy who's going to walk a lot. I don't think that's changing anytime soon, unless he fixes them problems. But I mean, it's sort of been his MO, where he's going to walk a lot. He's going to get out with strikeouts. That's closer, right? I mean, that's a closer to me. And as a closer, you can get away with that stuff a little more. And I just think that's where he'd be most successful. I'm not doing it as a demotion to the guy.
No, I know what you're saying.
I'm looking a year ahead. I'm looking a little ahead, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, what do we got coming up? What do we have a projected rotation at? And can we keep guys and make room for guys that have live arms and have big-time stuff? Well, in terms of Velasquez, with all the arms coming up, where do you put him? I get he's been one of your better pitchers this year, but, when you're ready to win, why can't he be, Papelbon? And other guys and Smoltz and guys who've made the move and been successful.
That's a great example. That started as a starter.
Like I said,
you can always go back.
Yeah.
You can always come back.
And I don't have an issue with it. I just don't do it this year.
No. I completely agree with right this second. No way. Because what's that saying? You're not ready to win, so let the guy throw. Mm-hmm. And you're still showcasing him any way you look at it. If you do consider to move him, but if Mazzaro's on the table, I make the move tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I know we're
right now. So,
I know we're up against a break, but bigger picture, think about this. It's July 27th. We've got a baseball team in this city that's 12 games below 500. They haven't fired their manager. They haven't fired their general manager. They haven't made any huge splash trades this year, yet somehow we still get excited talking about this baseball team.
No question.
And to me, that just shouts from the rooftops that this team has a huge, huge future.
Yeah, the ceiling's huge. It's like a Michelangelo goddamn cathedral. You know what I mean? It is.
Are you allowed to say that, a goddamn cathedral?
I don't know. I mean, they're allowed. I didn't get struck dead, so I think I'm good.
That's
you
bad
didn't walk
form,
outside
man.
yet.
I'm just trying to explain how big the cathedral is. Michelangelo Cathedral. But no, at the end of the day, you're right. I mean, the potential's so big. We've talked about the potential for a year now in excitement, waiting for it to come up. We still haven't got it all up yet in terms of Crawford, Williams, Thompson, and other guys down there. Quinn, and I got like Randolph that you drafted early. You got Mickey that you drafted earlier. So, there's kids down there, and there's excitement now for baseball, even though we stink.
I just want to let you know, by the way.
And if you ever mention trading to Duval Herrera again, I'm taking a week off. Taking a week off? Can't do it with you guys.
Trading Odubel Herrera.
I can't do it with you guys. All right. Enjoy next.
No, I would let you know, though. I have managed to line the rocks up and skip my way over to your side of the creek on J.P. Crawford. I'm ready.
You're ready?
Yeah.
Welcome. You ready for Nick, too?
Oh, I've been ready for Nick.
Alfaro?
No.
Nap?
No. Nap, maybe.
Okay. Alfaro, you can wait till next year?
I think Alfaro just needs to stay there and just get his at-bats. And then next year, start the year in AAA and get his at-bats. It's weird because he's hitting like 290, and I've seen him play now 5 times in the last 3 weeks, and it's got to be the softest 290 I've ever seen.
Really?
I mean, he just doesn't look comfortable with the plate. Everything is off balance, lunging, slapping at the ball. And for a catcher, he runs really well, so he's gotten himself some infield hits and kind of artificially inflated that average a little bit.
Yeah.
The guy's got all the tools in the world. I just think he just needs to just keep getting reps.
Going. That's
keep
fine.
Getting reps.
That's fine because
I'm not down on him. I just want him to just keep getting the reps.
If Nap's more ready, then Nap can come up next year with Rupp, and you're good. You're in a good spot. Them two can split time, and Nap gets his at bats, win-win, and then Alfaro gets more time to develop because
and Nap's a switch hitter. So when you
can accept that here because you're bringing up a kid,
right?
You know what I mean? You're not just leaving that catcher position. Oh, it's Rupp and some
jabroni,
Aaron Sebia, right? You know what I mean? That they bring in the freaking camp, that crumb.
But no, I mean, I would, the way I would look at it next year is it's Nap's job. Rupp goes back to being the backup. But like I said, Nap's a switch hitter. So when it does, when you do get to that point where Alfaro has just basically played his way out of the minors, you've got some flexibility with Nap, whether it's first base, outfield, trade, whatever it is. He takes on that much more value.
No, I completely agree. Well, on the other side, we're going to continue. We'll continue to talk some Phillies if it comes up. We'll see where it goes, but we're going to get in the Eagles training camp Like we talked about Nigel Bradham arrested in Florida. We'll talk about that's a distraction or not. We'll talk about the whole training camp coming up here for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is Tom.
Mike.
I am.
In the PM.
Right here on A2DRadio.com. And this segment was brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey. You can find them on the web, sportsoutletinc.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
If you have an upcoming wedding, bar mitzvah, or high school graduation and you're in need of catering, well, contact Obie's Catering today. Chris O'Brien is changing the world one dish at a time. You can give him a call, 856-534-8410. Email him cateringbyobie, that's OBIE @yahoo.com. Or look him up on Facebook at Catering by Obie's. And if you tell him Tom Renone or any of the boys from A2DRadio.com sent you, you get 20% off. If you want some fine catering, contact Obie's Catering today.
Hey, do you consider yourself the next Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, or Jordan Spieth? Well, head on out on November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey for A2DRadio.com's first ever Real Talk Invitational. $125 per person to enter, teams up to 4 members, and it includes all you can eat and drink, and contests including longest drive, putting competition, closest to the pin, and the hole-in-one contest. Once again, it's November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey. The guys here at A2DRadio.com hope to see you there.
Oh, welcome back, Tom.
Mike.
I am.
In the PM.
Right here on the Worldwide Leader, Real Talk, A2DRadio.com. And we're live from the BMW Atlantic City studios. And this month and every month, BMW Atlantic City has challenged its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save right now. Lease a certified, pre-owned Elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. BMW Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off exit 37 on the Parkway. Online, BMW of AtlanticCity.com. And every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tell them the boys from A2D Radio sent you. He's going to take care of you.
He always does.
And if you just joined us, we started a conversation which current member of the Phillies would fetch the best return in a trade. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, A2D Radio is where you can find us. Hellickson, Borges, Gomez, or Velasquez. I think me and Mr. Mataraki are both, in agreement almost that we think Hellickson and Velasquez could get you almost the same.
Yeah.
I think Velasquez can maybe get you a little more.
I think, I think Hellickson gets you more bodies. Velasquez gets you the better return.
Velasquez will get you Mazzaro. Hellickson won't get you
No,
Mazzaro.
he's not
right,
gonna
we're in
get Mazzaro.
agreement there. We like Jeremy, but he's not getting you Mazzaro. But he could get you that number 5 prospect because that's what the Phillies are asking for, a top 5 prospect. If you're just joining us, that's a report coming out from one Mr. Jason Stark. And Jason don't lie.
He don't
he's
lie.
almost like Howard Eskin. Eskin don't lie. Arnone doesn't lie. Mataraki's been known to fib. Not really a liar.
Wait, how did you flip this on me?
I have no idea.
Last week I didn't lie, but you were
I
the
have
one
no
that was
idea.
known to bend the truth.
I have no idea. Things happen in here.
Yo, Robbie, nice drop in, by the way. That was sweet return.
You got it, man.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And it's okay to stretch the truth a little
Oh,
bit.
you got to stretch.
You just got to return to integrity at some point.
Just get stretch. These guys.
Well, one Mr. Okay, so we're in agreement.
Yeah. Put it this way. If we were running the team, we wouldn't be fighting over who to trade and what to get back for him. We know what we're doing. Now, would other teams be willing to deal with us? Maybe not so much.
Well, like you said, we talked about in the first segment about creativity as a general manager and what kind of moves can you make and look a little ahead. And we talked about if you could trade Velasquez and you do trade Hellickson, essentially, and you bring back prospects from there, then you either go and deal the prospects you just got or some of the ones you have already, and you try to make a run for one Mr. Chris Sale because you can do it by August 2nd or August 1st. What's it, the 1st, right?
I think because the 31st is on Sunday, they extended the deadline. I believe it's till
The 2nd?
till 4 o'clock on Monday the 1st.
The 1st, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so
normally it's 4 o'clock on the 31st.
but they're doing it on the 1st.
They're
this
doing
year.
it on the
That's
1st
what I
this
thought
year,
I
yeah.
read. So, and that being said, you have enough time to flip-flop and make a couple moves if that's what you were going to do, but I don't know.
But here's the thing. The White Sox aren't necessarily going anywhere either. So, I mean, could you get Chris Sale in a post non-waiver deal? Probably not, because he's not going to clear waivers. Somebody is going to jump on him, but as the Phillies, you also have to look at where are you in the waiver order? Because is it based on current standings or is it based on where you finished last year? Because if it's based on where you finished last year, well, guess what? You got the number 1 opportunity for waivers. So if that's the case, you can go get him in a post-waiver deadline deal too.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it becomes a little more tricky, but you could do it.
Yeah, so, it's not over if you don't get it done by the
Yeah.
deadline.
The best part about this...
But that's if they put them on waivers.
Right, but the best part about this year is you don't feel like you have to make a move. Like last year, I think everybody sort of felt like if they didn't trade Cole Hamels, you were doing a disservice to the organization by not getting top-line prospects for him, and you were doing a disservice to him by basically forcing him to ride out the season on just a horrible team. But this year, I don't think there's any pressure to make a deal. And when there's no pressure to make a deal, that's usually when the best deals are made.
Yeah, because you're not forced. And I think the Phillies got lucky in the Hamels deal because they sort of were pressed to deal him, but they did get a boatload in return. So they sort of got lucky in that one. But you're right, this year.
Thanks, Ruben.
That's
this year there's not as much pressure at all.
That's when crazy deals go down, though, is when there's a situation where there's a disgruntled player, i.e., Chris Sale, who is looking to get out of town. I think about a guy that just got in the Hall of Fame. He was a little contented with the L.A. Dodgers, made something happen, a move to this team and then to that team.
But that's
why
the
not
question.
for the Phillies?
That's the question, Rob, though. To other teams, does Chris Sale's little antics essentially hurt what the White Sox can get in return. So if you're the Phillies, can you sort of hold the cards essentially because of the antics? Does that help you lowball them a little bit? Can you give up less to get him because of all the extra? Because when somebody wants to get rid of somebody, right? If we want to get rid of Chris Sale, we don't want Chris Sale here anymore. Well, guess what? You don't hold the cards anymore.
Right, but the thing with Chris Sale, I've not heard any reports about him being a quote-unquote problem child. He went out there every fifth day. He had his 12, 13, 14 strikeouts. He did his thing. Yeah, granted, what he did on Saturday was a complete boneheaded thing to do. I kind of get the feeling that it was basically like a prank gone bad, and I don't think he felt like the fallout was going to be nearly as severe as it was. I think he feels like he goes in there, he cuts up all those uniforms, ha, 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 very funny. He's still going to get to start that night. They're just going to wind up wearing their normal uniforms, and, maybe he gets yelled at a little bit, and big deal. I don't think he realized that it was going to cost him a start, a suspension, a fine, and all of a sudden, trade talks.
Well, then he's a goddamn idiot.
Well, yeah.
And
there's no question that was, it was a boneheaded move, and he is kind of an idiot. But until that day,
well, I think
you don't hear anything about him being a problem in that clubhouse.
He did, though, because of the whole LaRoche thing. Adam LaRoche, he was the first guy, sticking up for LaRoche.
He was the first one, but he wasn't the only one. There were 20 other guys who'd stuck up for him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's had some issues with the front office. It's been well known that him and the front office don't see eye to eye on things.
Well, apparently the front office in Chicago isn't exactly the most well-oiled machine either. Thank you, Mr. Povey. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm not taking shots at Chris Sale. I'm just saying I'll
take shots at Kenny Williams in the front office.
My point is that you can give up less to maybe get him than what you would have to give up.
Point taken.
If they didn't either trade him. If everything was kumbaya there, right, then you're going to have to give up a boatload, right? You got to go get a boat, go all the way to Dominican or Cuba, grab 100 players, bring the goddamn boat back across the water.
Sail it up the Mississippi and drop him off in Chicago.
And drop it off and get Sale and get him on a nice plane over here. But, so that's where you're going to give up for the guy. But now, knowing the situation, reports coming out that he has issues with the front office, now I think is where you can lowball and let's make a deal and get creative and maybe give up less to get him. You're still going to give up 3 big-time prospects most likely, but I don't think you have to give up the 5 or the 6 that you would in most kind of deals. I think you get away with 3 or 4.
All right, before we move on to the Birds, I want to just reframe this Sale thing real quick because I want to ask you, let's say that the Phils don't make a deal anywhere, but they're still interested in Sale. Would you be willing to part with a package of, say, Nola, Knapp, Hoskins, and Kingery, maybe, for Sale? Or is that too much? These are guys from within the organization. You've already got them in-house. You don't have to go wheeling and dealing to get trade pieces. These are guys that, are making names for themselves, climbing the organizational ladder. But if you can get Sale and go into next year with a bona fide number 1 starter at the top of your rotation, are any of those guys that you just have no desire to move?
No, I'll trade them all. It's fine with me. I don't think it's too much at all. I think you're actually stealing them.
Yeah, I
mean, they're good players in the organization, but they're not your top-notch guys. So if you can get rid of them guys who are good players, but they're not your top guys, then that's a win. For the top of rotation arm,
oh, yeah. Well,
you're winning.
Well, and here's the thing. Chicago, since LaRoche retired and they had to move Jose Abreu back to first base, they want Abreu to be their DH. Rhys Hoskins is leading all of minor league baseball in home runs. He's a right-handed bat, but he's probably blocked by Joseph, maybe Stassi, and maybe Knapp. My fear is he's going to turn out to be the next Darren Ruff. he's going to set the world on fire in Double-A, and then he's not going to do anything beyond that.
Yeah, we see
I think you got to trade him now while his value is at its highest. And I think that right there, I mean, he is an intriguing enough piece on his own that if you include him in a deal, you could get some things done.
Yeah, I mean, when you're hitting the ball out of the ballpark like that at that kind of rate, you definitely can.
I mean, 29 homers at, July 27th?
Yeah, you can get a lot back. I mean, that's Double-A ball.
Yeah.
So, people look at that as a higher level, essentially. Better competition.
All right, so then in the grand scheme of things, are we saying that instead of being sellers, the Phillies are buyers?
You could sell and buy at the same time.
At the same time.
You know what I mean? So let's make a deal. We're moving Velasquez. We're moving Hellickson. We're getting three prospects, maybe four back. Four prospects back. You're talking about 4 top 10 guys in the organization that we're now bringing in this organization, which means we can go flip all them guys you just talked about and go get Sale.
I love how you weave the title of the show into that little monologue.
Oh, let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal.
That was the title, so let's make one. Let's be creative, and I think we just were. Now, if you tell me you got to put Quinn or Williams in that deal, but I got, like we talked about, I got Mazzara back. I got other big prospects back. Then see you later. See you later, Nick. I like you a lot. You're a damn good player. But for Chris Sale, I'll put you in the deal. If one of them guys is going to break that deal, I'm fine because I have Herrera and then I'll have Mazzara.
I'm telling you.
So
I'm telling you right now, Roman Quinn is never, ever going to play a day in the majors in the Phillies uniform. So you can include him too. He's either going to be injured or he's going to get traded. He's never, ever going to play for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's just how it is.
That's fine. And trade him now while you can.
Trade him now while you can.
Trade him now while you can. I mean, it's simple as that. All right, let's move on to some Eagles talk. I say we wrap it up in about 13. We don't got to get deep on the Eagles at all.
The veterans report tomorrow, so this is a little bit of a preview.
Well, one veteran, Mr. Nigel Bradham, got arrested in Miami, and I was under the impression it was over an umbrella.
It was. The dispute started over an umbrella. But the reason that he was arrested was because a member of his quote-unquote posse decided to break an empty wine bottle over the employee's head. And the entire group of them was charged with assault. The reason that Bradham's name is being the most connected with it, even though he was not the one who actually committed the assault, was because the entire outing was paid for on his credit card.
All right. Well, he got arrested for aggravated battery in Miami, and Doug Peterson said today.
What's a Florida State guy doing hanging out in Miami to begin with?
I don't know.
Go back to Tallahassee. And just stay there.
Doing, but
Jesus Christ.
Doug Peterson on Nigel Bradham. I did have a great conversation with him last night. I laid out my expectations for him. It was a private conversation. He's obviously humbled by it, and he understands the situation. And pretty much went on to say he can't speculate on anything else. It's an ongoing investigation, but he's going to be at camp. So, do I think it's something that's going to be an issue? No. And I saw some reports out that people thought the Eagles linebacker, the linebackers as a whole were weak, and I actually completely disagree with that.
I disagree with
I think
it
they're
as well.
pretty deep, but there's one guy that people were talking about. I can't believe he won one of our polls on our Twitter, a2dradio.com is how you can find us. But a guy who won, let me get this poll up here because this was actually troublesome to me, Mike, and I want to get your opinion. And it was what Eagles rookie what Eagles rookie will have the biggest impact this season? Wentz, Smallwood, Mills, or some other crumb who we don't care about. But Jalen Mills won that at 40%. And I just think that's really interesting. What, because the guy dyes his goddamn effing hair?
Well,
you know what I mean? Now we're a love affair again, Rob. Now we're on his knees because we like his hairdo.
And here's the thing.
It's unbelievable.
You know what I call that? I call that the AM and the PM effect. Because we sat here last week, and we talked up Jalen Mills quite a bit. Did we crown him? No, we didn't crown him.
No,
we certainly didn't tell him to go paint his hair.
No, we didn't.
But no, he's not going to win that poll. He shouldn't win that poll. Whoever voted on that poll is a bunch of jackasses. Excuse my French.
Well, they are. There was a bunch of them, too. Bunch of freaking idiots. But, I mean, that's fine.
Well, you know what? Last week we talked a little bit about Mark Eckel, and I want to try to get Mark on next week because Mark wrote a great story today for NJ.com. And I'm not going to get too deep into the story, but I'm just going to give you the headline. Eagles' quote-unquote culture left when Chip Kelly was fired. And the gist of the story talks about how Chip Kelly only wanted guys that were on the straight and narrow, even if it meant taking a level of player who may have been a step down. And since he left and this new regime came in, very much in the Andy Reid mode of giving second chances, they drafted 3 guys who had questionable college careers.
Yeah.
You got Nigel Bradham getting arrested with no immediate backlash. You had Aguilar getting in trouble at the strip club. To me, they're just another NFL team because this stuff happens all around the league. I mean, I don't necessarily think this is specific to the Eagles, and I don't necessarily mind the edge on some of these guys, so to speak. Do I worry about the Bradham thing? Yeah, a little bit, because even if he comes to camp and the season starts, what happens if the Birds are, 8-4 after 12 games, and then all of a sudden he's got to go appear in court? That's where it becomes kind of a problem.
It's kind of like fiction meets reality.
Well, if they're 8-4, then freaking Michael goddamn Kendricks, who never stays on the field, then he's healthy, is what you're telling me. Jordan Hicks is healthy, and then we're really healthy all around the football. Because you talked about today, Ryan Matthews already injured.
Surprise.
Yeah, shock there. And you talk about Wendell Smallwood on this. We talked about him last week. That's a guy that's going to move up the depth chart and get some carries. Kenyon Barner, who you like a lot.
Yeah.
These guys are going to get some carries because Darren Sproles is not going to be a guy who's touching the ball 15, 20 times a game.
We talked about
It's
it
not
last
realistic.
week. I mean, Ryan Matthews barely even came up in the discussion. I like Barner. You like Smallwood. We know what Sproles' role is. Matthews may not
I
even
just
be
like
on
fresh
this,
legs,
he
that's
may,
all.
He may not even be on this team for all we know.
You guys got that. In the NFL, I'm a big fan of rookie running backs and young running backs because it's fresh legs.
Right.
And I look at it, they got a burst. When you're young and you just come in the league, you got a little burst to you. As your career goes on, that burst sort of goes away as a running back. But so I like you because I think it's a replaceable, easy replaceable position as long as a guy can block well. That's the biggest transition for a guy coming from college to the pros is the blocking scheme. As a running back. Who do I pick up where? That's what guys sometimes don't wrap their head around. But at the end of the day, I think that in terms of hitting a hole and go, that's when having a young running back is nice because he's got the little pop.
To your point, I mean, and I'll bring Rob into the discussion here. I'm coming to you, Rob, let's talk about it, and I know this kind of drives you up a wall, but it's going to actually illustrate your point perfectly. From a fantasy perspective, when you're talking about your quarterbacks, your running backs, your wide receivers, biggest waiver wire pickups every single week in fantasy football are running backs because they just roll these guys in. One after another, after
you
another.
You stream them like
another.
pitchers almost in a sense in
baseball.
baseball.
Because basically the bottom line is if you're a running team and you've got a good offensive line, you can put just about anybody back there
and get
to
it done.
do what you need to do.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Well, for that same point, though, with quarterbacks, you can kind of do the same thing in fantasy as well based on the matchup. So, but running back is much more common in that sense. But quarterbacks, too.
Honestly, guys, give me more than 5 studs at the running back position. 5 studs. I'm talking about pups. You can't go more than really 5 nowadays.
You go like 5, 6, 7
Adrian.
That's it.
Le'Veon Bell once he's back again.
I mean, there's some guys out there, but it's not overwhelming. Like at the quarterback position, you can give me 15 right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the wide receiver position, you can probably give me 30.
Right.
Legitimate wide receivers in this league that you really like. So other positions are deeper. In terms of running back, a dime a dozen, which started happening over the last 10, 12 years.
Well, we said it.
We're at a shelf life.
Yeah, we sat at Philly Diner last year, and we did a fantasy draft.
Yeah, we did. We struggled.
But the point is that in the past, if you were in a 10-man fantasy league, you would literally have the top 10 guys would all be running backs, and then when it would snake back around, you'd start getting, some wide receivers and quarterbacks drizzled in there. Now, maybe your first 4 picks are running backs, and then all of a sudden, you're going 4 running backs. Like you said, there may not be more than 5 studs.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting 4 running backs out of the gate. And then all of a sudden you're going wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. Then maybe the running backs start getting drizzled in again. Running backs after the top 4 or 5, they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah, and I think the Eagles' offensive line is going to be much improved this year. I look for them to have a better year. And, Sproles is a veteran, and Matthews, if he gives you 6 to 8 games, that's a freaking plus. So if the other 2 kids and Barner and Smallwood can get the job done, then you're in good shape. But I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. But I mean, we're going to have so much Eagles to talk about. At the end of the day, when it comes to training camp, and when we go to live video, I can show you this, but it's really just cross your fingers and go. Because at the end of the day, you just want to stay healthy. The best team doesn't win the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. The healthiest does. Okay, you look at the Denver Broncos. That was a healthy football team that went and won a Super Bowl. Name me a Super Bowl team that won a Super Bowl that wasn't healthy. There isn't. There isn't. Never. Never the team going into the Super Bowl not healthy and won in key positions.
No, you're absolutely
Because I'll wait. How much? I mean, we got all freaking night. I'll put my goddamn feet up and wait for that one. The Eagles are not a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
But to get into the dance, which is the playoffs, you need to be a healthy football team. Unless you have a great quarterback, right? You need to be a healthy football team in all aspects to be able to make the playoffs. Because our division stinks. The division stinks. You can easily win this division. It's a talented football team. But
all right,
go ahead. To your point, Rob, because I was.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was just going to say that the first, and it's not indicative of your question. It's a long time ago, but the only one I can think of is Jeff Hostetler coming in for Phil Simms. What was that?
That was 20 years ago,
Yeah.
if not more.
Yeah, but that Giants team as a whole was healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so, yeah, you lost quarterback, but you had a good backup, but you're still healthy.
All right.
True.
Tommy, we got like 4 minutes left. I got a homework assignment for you. Because, hold on. Hear me out. Because say there's certain people in the Delaware Valley that like and respect your position as our leader here at A2D Radio. I know
Not a lot. Like
not
certain. Like
certain.
it's a select few. Like it's like
But-
one little region.
But that select few has gotten you on the sidelines on Friday, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so you get your little media credentials.
We'll be down at the at the NovaCare.
I want you specifically to focus on the running backs.
Okay.
Come back next week and tell me who you think looks the best.
Oh, that's easy.
Because if I go down on Sunday,
You should be a freaking coach. I can go tell you in 2 minutes.
if I go down on Sunday, which is the current plan, maybe.
Oh, well, Mr. Ralphie D Gaming?
Well, no.
Oh, sorry.
Permission to fuck that guy.
I get it. You're good.
I raised my hand. I asked for permission. That's 2 weeks in a row with an F-bomb.
That's fine. It's fine. I like it. I'm a fan of
But
it.
no, if I do go down on Sunday, which may or may not be the plan at this point, I will do the same thing. Maybe we'll compare notes on what we see out of the running back.
Because compare notes, and let's if you go down there Sunday, let us know.
Absolutely.
We get some live video right on the main book.
On the book.
Right on the main one. If you're down there, because I think that's what we're trying to do. Just get down there and get some coverage.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's my homework assignment. I got to get live video of Mr. Smallwood, Barner, and Mr. Sproles. I guess it's going to be your homework assignment then.
What's that?
I want to see the big dog sling the rock. I want you to tell me honestly, put the money aside, the money's away, and you just look at the 3 quarterbacks and you come back, if you go Sunday, on who you think looks the best. We'll go video of it, of them slinging it, and then you're going to come back Wednesday and tell me who's the best.
All right, done.
Done.
Boom.
And we're starting from the ground up. Running back, quarterback, let's go.
We're going to lay that foundation.
We're laying
Build
the
it up.
foundation.
Build it up.
Like them cockroach Cowboys did back in the 90s. So they started their foundation, and then a White House on a cul-de-sac finished it off.
You love it.
I'm a big fan of the way. I don't know why. I hate the Cowboys with a passion, but that team draws me.
Those cockroaches.
And we go 4 more minutes.
Those cockroaches spent $1 billion on a stadium to train in. It's unbelievable.
Well, he's the smartest businessman alive.
He is.
Back in the day, because there's only one guy. I tell this story all the time. I was really in tune to the Cowboys back then. My uncle lived in Dallas. I was on the field numerous times. My uncle owned a nightclub in Dallas. I met Darren Woodson, Shante Carver, Emmitt Smith. I got a ball sign from Irvin. I met a lot of these guys. So I was in tune to them a little bit. Go ahead.
I'll give you a proper metaphor of what it's about. It's like you see that train wreck of a chick, and you're like, "Ooh, no!" There's just a little party that wants a banger. That's the allure of the
'90s
Cowboys.
team. Yeah, that '90s team was. It was almost like the Hurricanes.
Do you like the metaphor, Mike, or no? You're shaking your head.
Why do you like the
I think it's
Miami
a good
Hurricanes
metaphor.
at all? Because they were the bad boys and they did stuff like crazy
You
and they
just
talked
took us
a lot.
from PG to R.
Well,
I
when
like
Jimmy
it.
Johnson real quick, when Jimmy Johnson went from the Hurricanes to the Dallas Cowboys, and the only owner in sports that was able to, and I got to wrap your head around this, ladies and gentlemen, this is the only owner ever in the history of sports that not only had Pepsi in their stadium, but they had Coca-Cola too. This motherfucker was able to make these two gigantic companies bid off each other. So the prices kept going up and up, and it's the biggest and smartest business move of all time. And the only reason that the Cowboys dynasty came to an end was one simple reason, ladies and gentlemen: the salary cap. Because when there was no cap in football, Jerry could outspend you all, and that's why they were winners. It's simple. But why did they become winners? Because Jerry Jones was a smart businessman. Listen, I hate him with a passion, the Cowboys. But real's real. It's the worldwide leader of real talk. We're not here to lie to you. At the end of the day, it's one of the smartest businessmen ever in the history of sports. He's in Roger Goodell. Well, Roger Goodell's maybe in his freaking pocket, but they're in each other's pockets because there's a reason that the Cowboys are always allowed to sign crumbs that do bad things. Because Jerry can get you away with anything because he is the NFL.
President of the United States, Donald Trump or Jerry Jones?
Jerry, probably. It's Jerry. How could you? He's the guy who came from oil. That equals presidency when you come from oil. You know what I mean? Where do you think Jerry got his money from? That's family oil, babe.
Here you go.
This is the Southern draw.
This is a Philadelphia radio talk show that is going to start a write-in campaign for Jerry Jones for president.
But truth be told, though.
Shut up.
Truth be told, I remember my uncle telling me a story that he's had to guard the door for Irvin banging lines in the nightclub bathroom. So, I mean, they had fun. But
at the Iguana Mirage?
In the Iguana Mirage. You know the Iguana. Get in here.
My man.
The Iguana Mirage. My uncle owned a piece of the Iguana. But
I told you I've been down there, man. I've done this circuit.
You've done the Iguana?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. But as much as I hate them and hate everything that they stand for, the guy was smart. And it was almost like Steinbrenner in baseball. It's very similar. There was no cap, and the guys were great businessmen who made a lot of money that could then go spend their money. When the Yankees got their own network, they were the first team in baseball to have their own network. Once you get that, money's astronomical. The Phillies are finally going to get it, and the money revenue makes it gigantic. And they were the first one to the party.
No, it's funny that you said that. Because this is where Ted Turner was an absolute idiot.
Ted.
Well, hold on. Because Ted owned the Braves.
Yes.
And he owned TBS, TNT, CNN, the whole thing. But he never, WCW, but he never, ever gave the Braves their own network.
No.
And had the Braves had their own network, they could have easily become the Yankees before the Yankees became the Yankees.
Well, they were winning.
Yeah,
they were winning.
What I mean.
The success was there. But you're right. They were all. I mean, the thing about the Braves, why they became a lot of people became a fan of the Braves, similar to the Cowboys in a way.
They were winners.
That too, but they were always on TV. No matter where you were in the country, you could watch the Braves
on TBS, right?
As much, and it irks me. I feel like something's crawling in my effing skin, But it's the truth. Go ahead.
Yeah, who's even worse than me? You should meet my brother. You'd love him to death. He's a Cowboys-Yankee fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Double cockroach.
Oh.
The double evil empire.
Yeah,
you can play. You compare Jerry Jones to George Steinbrenner. I think that's an excellent metaphor, connection there because birds of the same feather.
They are, and Jerry might have even been smarter, but they both made money, and
hand over fist,
and the money went back into their product winning. They weren't guys. They were all about winning, and winning made them money. And once you figure that out in sports, because there's too many owners out there that are in it for the dollars and cents, but they don't realize that winning brings you dollars and cents.
Well, and the funny,
you know what I mean?
The funny thing about it, though, is they both had the same Achilles heel, too, is that they were geniuses of businessmen, but when they meddled just a little too much in the player personnel stuff is when they got in trouble.
They hurt the organization. Jerry hurt his organization when he dove too deep. That being said, when we're talking about gold standards and teams that, did it right, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be very reluctant to make big moves in the future. I think everything that happened over the last 2 or 3 years with Chip Kelly has ruined Jeffrey Lurie. And I think there's a lot of reluctancy coming from the Philadelphia Eagles. This was a safe hire. They want to try to go back to Andy days. I don't think they know really what direction they want to go in. They don't have a VP of player personnel, which is ridiculous.
Right.
Which we talked about
it,
who's
yeah.
going to be that guy. They don't even have that guy in their organization, so the structure's all messed up. We talk about great organizations have great structure, great communication from bottom to top, and the Eagles are missing a part of that structure right in the middle. Who is that guy? Is there a reluctancy to not tell you who that guy is? Maybe there is a guy, but again, reluctancy from the Philadelphia Eagles to get burned and tell you who this guy is. I think the reluctancy is the word. At the end of the day, reluctancy, because I think they're just reluctant on everything. Lurie's reluctant to speak. I mean, everything's just weird with the Eagles right now. All the signings, all the Bradford money that was given out by Jeffrey Lurie makes no sense to me, and I don't think he knows what Effie's doing anymore.
But here's,
not that he did.
Well, no, but here's what happened. He was, for all intents and purposes, the bully who may not necessarily have won every fight, but he wasn't getting his ass kicked all over the school either.
No, he was signing.
So he could walk around and, he could walk the walk and talk the talk, and until somebody beat him down, he was going to continue to do it. Well, last year, he got his ass kicked. He got his ass kicked on the field and off the field, and now the reluctance comes from he needs to build it back up, and it's got to come from within. What changes all of that? Lightning in a bottle and an 11-5 season.
That too, but if you go back to the first Chip Kelly play on Monday Night Football against the Washington Redskins, and Donovan even was saying that everybody knew it was coming, the play action and the Deshaun for the touchdown.
Right.
We all remember that a Chip Kelly era started here in Philadelphia, and it started with goddamn excitement, and we ran the score up, and we had Vic, and it was a perfect fit for Chip Kelly's offense. Everything was perfect. Kumbaya. Well, losing Michael Vick, not going to be the player he was. Never filling that quarterback position hurt Chip Kelly. And when you can't fill that position and you can't get a leader at that position or a winner or a guy that can do things at that position, not a guy that every time he gets hit, he's injured. When you have that kind of problem at the position, you're not going to be successful as a head coach. It's simple as that. You need the quarterback to be successful. Chip got run out of town because Sam Bradford, he went all in for him. Bradford essentially wasn't good enough to win.
Right.
And he's the one who got canned for because it all went south.
That actually brings up a great question, though. Was Chip Kelly's downfall the fact that he just didn't roll with Michael Vick through his entire tenure?
Yeah. I think at one point he got cute and felt like he didn't need that mobile quarterback, that he could do it without it. Now, it works a little bit because it's all about spacing in his offense. I completely understand his offense. But you need a mobile guy. It doesn't have to be a spread option run guy, but mobile.
He wants to rest his hat on the fact that he made Nick Foles into a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Exactly. But he did that with Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson, and LaShawn McCoy.
Right.
He didn't do that just with Nick Foles. Now, in terms of Colin Kaepernick, that's a quarterback that we all thought that would make his offense successful. Now, no Anquan Bolden, I don't know. But I think with Kaepernick, if Kaepernick's healthy, that's the guy to run his offense. And I think over time, if they give Chip Kelly time, because I think he's a smart football guy. Whatever else goes on, once players started talking, he lost the respect in that locker room because once you hear somebody think somebody's a racist, right, you're automatically in that locker room wondering, like, who is? Like, come on, natural reactions, guys, right? Natural reaction would be, well, I don't know. Is this guy racist? Does this guy even care about us, right? And that starts going on mental. And listen, when you start thinking about other things, we need to be thinking about, what plays you're running and your playbook, and you're worrying about other things. It's going to affect everything.
Well, and we talked about this a couple months ago when he got hired by San Francisco. He's in the perfect spot.
No question, because nobody gives a rat's ass.
Laid back, West Coast. I mean, anybody who's paying attention to sports out there is watching the Warriors or the Giants, so he's going to be flying under the radar. He's going to be able to do whatever the hell he wants to do out there, and no one's going to care.
Who was their number one pick in the draft?
Is.
Who did they take number one when they drafted? Who did the Niners take in the draft? I know we're talking Niners. We've been talking a lot of different stuff. I'll find it.
I'm going to say, of course you hit me after I power down.
Well, no, I mean, it's fine. It'll take me all 30 seconds to see who the hell they drafted.
That's good because we have 32 seconds left.
Oregon, DeForest Buckner.
Okay.
DN. But I like that player. Real quick, Alden Smith. Time to go, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean, we're really going Facebook Live and smoking weed. I mean, listen, bro, whatever you're into, I'm not mad at you, but you do have a policy to uphold and a lot of money, and you're going live video with the with the blunt in hand. Well, that's going to do it for Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
right here, a2dradio.com, the worldwide leader of Real Talk. Thanks for listening. Coming up, Friday, you got AIM Sports Showcase. Friday night, you got another show I don't give a rat's ass about. And then Sunday, you got to agree to disagree. That's my shot taken. You got that one? Thank you. The Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. You can find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. They sponsor us every Wednesday night.
Go get your books done.
Go get your books done and go get your car. BMW Atlantic City, right off exit 17 of the Parkway, BMWAtlanticCity.com. Thank you, Rob Povey, for producing. Some guy behind the guy, Michael Mataraki. I'm Tom Arnone. We'll see y'all soon.
Peace.